complexity, ambiguity. These are the four characteristics of fourth industrial revolution. So in this complex, uncertain world, we need to approach with this interdisciplinary orientation. So with that regard, Harvard University, especially John F. Kennedy School, started their Future Society. This is research center. They started Future Society Center. The focus of their study is nano, bio, information, and cognitive science. So they are saying that our world is undergoing a technological explosion. So echoing John F. Kennedy's visions, it truly seems that we stand today on the edge of new frontier. So they are studying on what is the creative policy initiatives and policy alternatives to study on the governance model 4.0 or society 4.0. So we will keep in mind about these kind of issues, and then we will talk, if I may, government first generation, second generation, and third generation. We are talking about now the fourth generation of the policymaking. So Industrial Revolution 4.0, artificial intelligence, and MBIC show the heightened uncertainty. We need a framework for the government 4.0 or policymaking 4.0, whatever that is, okay? Now, let me start to talking about the effective COVID-19 response of South Korea. First one, South Korea's strategic approach is smart test kit, and then test performed is 64,000, and test concluded is 64,000. So positivity rate is 1.7%. And if you look at the Japan, as you know, the test only positive rate is more than 8.1%. 8% and 1%, you know, that Korea's comparatively performed well in these issues. So as a result of expanding the number of inspection agencies and smart test kit, the ability to perform tests for up to 1 day has increased to 20,000 as of April from 3,000 of February, and the capacities keep increasing. And the other issue is that driving through test center, if you see some photograph and pictures, this is driving through testing, and this is even working through testing. Second one is that currently, as you know, the United States is more than 1,023,000. More than 1 million was confirmed patient, and sadly enough, it's more than 70,000 was died. And then you can see the Spain and Italy and Germany and France and China, Iran, and Korea is now stabilizing. As you see, the isolated is stabilizing, and even recent 2 weeks and 3 weeks is down to almost zero. New confirmed case is not added anymore. So this is some Korean pattern now. It's quickly sliding down. And as you know, foreign press loud Korean performance, and BBC coronavirus in Korea, how trace, test, and treat may be saving lives. And the diplomat says that in Korea, the answers to these questions are provided by the government daily through press briefings, website, and automated text messages, which tirelessly communicate the recent locations traveled by the new diagnosed patient. So list of restaurant, shopping center, church are accompanied by the approximate times of visitation, so another people can quickly decide whether they might have been at risk. And finally, the Washington Post says that Korea's impressive management of the coronavirus only strengthens its rapidly growing cultural influence around the world. So,
Professor, can you go to make full screen, because some need to? It's better for visibility.
Which one? Graph?
Just full screen. Just click on full screen so we can see the full. Yes,
okay.
Please.
Okay, sorry. And also BBC says that as the coronavirus spread rapidly around the world, killing thousands and leaving governments scrambling to deal with the fallout, and one country has repeatedly drawn praise for its efficiency in dealing with it, South Korea.
We've seen this. You can just move on.
Okay.
Be free to move on.
So this is my final answers or my analysis. I will provide three key results. First one is that strong control tower, Korean Controlling Disease Center, KCDC, is a strong control tower, strong power. It empowered to control the related government agencies. And this was initiated by the lessons of MERS in 1915. Taiwan is another case. Taiwan built open based on SARS in 2003. So Japan, famous newspaper Nihon Keizai expressed what Korea has, but what Japan has not. This is very important framework that, as you know, in many government or many countries, even developing or even advanced countries, they have some, let's say, sectionalism or silos. They don't want to cooperate with other agency department, but there is a law to empower this case CDC. So in Korea, usually Ministry of Economic Planning has the most powerful government agency. So Ministry of Economic Planning don't want to cooperate to other agencies. But in this case, KCDC has more power to give the information, to give the knowledge, to cooperate with this center, then they should cooperate. This is very important issue for the innovation, okay? So when we talk about silo issues or sectionalism, or don't want to cooperate with other departments, this is one implications. Second one is that the power of citizen and nationwide cheap rate of insurance system, as I mentioned. It lowered the hurdles of the hospital and allowed a widespread medical coverage. This was starting from in 1977, and this initiation was Park Geun-hye leadership. Third, but not least, is smart infrastructure or digital capacity. So innovative smart systems such as public drive-through and working through and smart kit was the remarkable. And using big data or a transparently opening system, it allows to tracing the patient's whereabouts. You see that some patient, even though they have confirmed, because sometimes they need to go outside, they want to go outside, even restaurant or shopping center. That's the problem, but of course, this is the violation. So in Korea, harshly or severely, is punishment legally. But let alone the punishment, this patient is already going through the restaurant and shopping center or street or playground, then the other people has affected. So what Korean government did is that tracing these confirmed patients' whereabouts, and then in detailed time planning, in detailed second, they opened all the information to the public. And 3 o'clock and 1 minute, 3 o'clock 15, they go to the which area, which department, which restaurant, and they open all the whereabouts so that people notice that whether he has been there or not. Okay, these are the 3 items for my analysis. So in conclusion, Korean government built upon its strategies, policy strategies based on the policy lessons of previous experience of SARS and MERS. Okay.
Thank you very much, Professor. If we can just conclude with the last slide about the value creation, because it helps to give the full overview about the next steps in terms of our course of policy making. And then we can open the floor for any questions, discussions, direct discussions or written discussion questions as well. Both are possible.
Okay. So you want me make some kind of closing segment or something like that?
Yeah, in order to open that, we have still some 10 minutes probably for discussions. So if you can just close with the value creation model and then sure. Open the floor for any other questions.
Very good. So as you talked, let me going through my final segment, meaning the value creation model. As you know, the fourth industrial revolution has changed a lot. And one of them is that value stream and knowledge stream and effective policy making. Of course, what I want to argue is that we want to have a life cycle from the agenda setting, policy making, policy analysis, implementation, evaluation stage, and policy feedback and change will make great and strong nations. So we have to integrate all this kind of policy process for the purpose of effective policy making. From another angle, knowledge stream is capital and asset, money, and integration, communication, information, knowledge, and management has another life cycle. So through the capacity building, we need to create value creation and value upgrade with this policy framework. As you know, the technology, artificial intelligence, we have many innovations. Currently, IoT and big data and self-driving car, smart car, and voice and image recognition. So already, the Facebook has a chatbot, and Amazon and cloud-based platform. IBM has Watson health platform, and General Electrics has an industrial platform of predicts. So with this kind of new technology, and we have the thinking, we need to have a thinking innovation to have a creativity and some inspiration and some intuition, and with this policy framework. So I will always discuss with you with this current rapidly changing technologies and smart platform and smart policy framework, of course, with a little bit deeper knowledge of policy analysis and policy science. So as I showed you before, I will talk about efficiency and democracy and the flexibility and new governance innovation, and to make a strong and great nation. And to do that, we need a policy innovation, and we need to analyze about policy stage and policy variable and policy